Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aram Tolegian, joined by Fred J. Robledo. Freddie, championship week is here.
Yes.
And we're talking about a Saturday night special going down at Arroyo High School. Arroyo, 12-1, hosting Rancho Mirage, 11-2. Freddie, this division, go figure, played out exactly to the seedings. This is number 1 Arroyo versus number 2 Rancho Mirage.
Yeah, and pretty exciting for Arroyo and Coach Jim Singheiser. Aram, we've been covering them a long time. They haven't been in the finals since '91. They haven't won it. They've only won it one time, and that was way back in 1986. So, they're facing a team like you said, Rancho Mirage, who's lost just I think one game, Aram. Two games all year. They've won 8 straight. It's gonna be a great game. I mean, what are your first impressions?
Well, obviously before we get to first impressions, you really have to congratulate, like you just did, Jim Singheiser and his staff.
Oh yeah,
Freddie, this is a program that we know through the years has kind of been knocking on the door of getting to this spot. They were in the Mid-Valley Division. They'd run up against San Dimas or Paraclete or whoever it was. There was actually a little stretch of time there with Arroyo. I'm sure you remember this in the mid-2000s or maybe the last 8-9 years. There was a little stretch in there where literally the team they lost to went on to play in the championship or win the championship.
Yeah.
So they finally punched their way through. But this is one of those games, dude, where it's hard because what do we know about Rancho Mirage?
No, but we don't know. We know they have Kyle Whitfield, a running back. Aram. He has 1,447 yards and 27 touchdowns. As a team, here's what's dangerous: 53 rushing touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns. It's a team that totally runs the ball down your throat, old school. Complete contrast with someone like Arroyo, who's going to throw the ball a lot. And I remember earlier in the season, Dale Ziola had that quote about over at Charter Oak that quarterbacks just fall off trees over there, and Charter Oak didn't really like that comment too much towards the end of the year. You can make that argument that happens over at Arroyo because look, they lose a starting quarterback who I think everyone thinks is the key to them having any chance at winning the CIF title. And here comes Ernesto Camacho, who's all he's done is throw for 2,538 yards, 28 touchdowns. And this team is a little balanced, averaging 148 yards on the ground. So again, Jim Singheiser, we talk a lot about Charter Oak. Now they develop quarterbacks. Here's a coach who's always developed quarterbacks. They have the all-time Valley record holder at quarterback, Steven Rivera, who 4 years threw those great numbers. And that's something Arroyo always does. But it's a scary game for me, Aram, because I hate teams that rely on the pass going against teams that are so good running the ball, because if you can't stop them, if Arroyo can't stop them, it could be a long night.
Yeah, it's funny. I wrote about this, Freddie, last week. I covered Arroyo's game against Sure in the second round of the playoffs. That was, second round of the playoffs against Sure. And that was a game where they fell behind 21-7. And then it's the weirdest thing, man. I wrote about it, but I didn't know for sure if what I saw is what I saw, but it clearly was. A good team hit another gear. From the second quarter on of that game, they outscored Sure 35-7, and Sure was no slouch.
Right.
And then that carried over in that Cedarstrom game where they hung 70 points on a team in the semifinals and won by 50 points.
That's why
when you get that hot, come on.
I love their chances, Aram, especially being at home in front of their crowd. If they had to go all the way down to the desert and play this game out there where it's windy and cold and you're not used to your fans out there, that's different. They're going to be home on Friday night. I like Arroyo. I mean, I'm going with Arroyo to win this. I'm not picking any of these games to be blowouts. Rancho Mirage's 2 losses were to Palm Desert and San Jacinto. And to me, I've said this all along, Arroyo might as well be undefeated. Their only loss was to Hart. An upper division team that won it finishing 8-3. So, Arroyo, I got them in a close game, Aram. I think they're going to win their second championship in 30 years on Saturday night.
We should mention that this is an incredible bump in competition compared to what they've seen throughout the playoffs, Arroyo that is. This Rancho Mirage team is much better than anything Arroyo has seen. So there's going to be, a collision here, Fred. Red hot team in Arroyo against, a team that's also hot, but also is deservingly the favorite on paper. I don't know how
what is CalPrep's projected?
They have Rancho Mirage 28-21.
A close game, yeah.
Yeah.
But that, those things, I don't know if they factor in the home schedule. Those are based on games that are on neutral sites. All of those things.
Oh, okay.
When CalPreps does that.
Well, what's the home field advantage of being at Arroyo? Is it that big?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're Arroyo, just playing at home in front of a crowd, not having to go through that bus ride. That's a 2-hour bus ride to come down here to play on a Saturday.
But these teams from that way are used to that. They know that a lot of the games they play are going to be away from the desert. I
would love to hear that Jim Singheiser pregame speech. I bet it's just going to be out of this world. We've got to find a way to get ourselves in there.
Right. I'm picking Arroyo too, Freddie. Yeah. I just think their offense, the way they're hot, if they can jump on this team, send a message early, and why can't they, given how hot they've been, then they've got a good shot. It's going to be an incredible environment over at Arroyo on Saturday night. The whole valley should be there. We got no other CIF championship games taking place that night. That's Arroyo hosting Rancho Mirage Division 12 championship. Be there and be there early.